The next option we're going to learn about polynomials is multiplying them. And there's several different methods based off of what you're kind of given. So the first example is a monomial, meaning a one term, times a trinomial, three terms. And all we're going to do is just distribute. Remember, that's where you kind of take one parenthesis and you kind of go like this to the other one. That's all we're going to do. So I'm going to take this and multiply it to here first. There's a couple of rules to know. Multiply the number of coefficients in front of each term first. So in this case, a 3 and a 2 would give me 6. Then it says, add the exponents on the variables. So I have an x and an x squared. That would give me x to the third. And then it says, we do not need like terms to multiply, but when we finish, we're going to add like terms. So it kind of gets to that part after. So notice that there's still a y here. This will just become a y. So the next one, now I'm going to take this and multiply it to this one. Multiply numbers plus 6. There is no x in this term here, so it's just going to be an x for the first one. And then y and y makes y squared. And lastly, to the last term, 3 and negative 7 makes a negative 21, and the x and y just follow. Here's your answer. So this part here says, but when we finish, add like terms. And here's what I mean. Let's say we finish and we get a 6xy squared and then a negative 2xy squared. Since this is xy squared and this is xy squared, same thing, you would just add those numbers. 6 minus 2 to give me a 4xy squared. However, if I had 6x squared y and a negative 2xy squared, these are not the same. This is x squared and this is only an x, while this is only a y and this is the y squared. So letters and exponents must match. Alright, next one. So the next one is when you have a binomial and a trinomial, a 2 times a 3. You're going to use the distribute method. There's kind of two methods. I'll show you the distribute first. This is kind of like FOIL, but it's not. FOIL means you have a 2 and a 2. This one here is a 3 and 3, but it's kind of the same thing where we're going to do everything from the first parentheses gets multiplied to everything to the second. So we'll start with the 3x first. 3x will go to these three terms. And first we'll get 6x to the third plus 36x squared plus 18x. And then I'm going to take this bottom one, negative 7, and multiply it to these three. So I would get a negative 14x squared minus 84x minus 42. Any guesses as to why I kind of unaligned these when I wrote them down? It's so that way I actually aligned these variables to make it easier to just kind of combine like terms after. No, let's rewrite all this. X and x. So when I combine like terms for final answer, I get a 6x cubed. 36 and negative 14 makes 22x squared. 18 minus 84 makes a negative 66x, and this is a negative 42. So that is the distribution method, or the distribute method. The other method I'm going to show you is the box method. And we're going to kind of show you, so I have a 2 by a 3, so I have 2 boxes by 3. So I'm going to kind of align them. And this will be a 3x and a negative 7. this is a 2x squared plus 12x plus 6. And so to get to this answer here, I'm going to multiply these two things here. And that would give me a 6x cubed. To get to this box, I'm going to multiply these two things to get here. And that would be negative 14x squared. Keep going, I multiply 3x and 12x makes it 36x. 3x and 6 makes it 18x. Negative 7 and 12 makes a negative 84x. And negative 7 and 6 makes a negative 42. Now we can combine these things. Ooh, I missed an x squared. Here. I can combine this with this, and this with this. To give me an answer of 6x cubed plus 22x squared minus 66x minus 42. Notice that these two here are the same. Same problem, same answer, different method. However, I showed my work for both of them, which is something you're going to have to do. So for the next one, notice that it's 3 terms first and then 2 terms. It doesn't really matter, you can flip them if you want. I just always distribute from the one with less terms. So I'm going to actually make this one do the jumping around. So if I take the 0.5x and I multiply to these 3, it's going to give me negative 28x cubed y. I like to keep, you're supposed to keep the variables in order from alphabetical order, plus 0.5x squared y minus 5xy squared. Then take the second one, do the same thing, and I get a 112x squared y squared minus 2xy squared plus 20y cubed. Notice that these like terms don't line up well. This is x squared y squared, this is only x squared y. So they won't combine. Same thing for the negative 5x. Sorry, this one here would combine with this one because they both have x, y squared. And so now we combine like terms and we get negative 28x cubed y plus 0.5x squared y plus 112x squared y squared minus 7xy squared plus 20y cubed. For the next one, distribute. You can FOIL. This gives me 9x squared y squared plus 24xy squared. Then I get negative 24xy squared minus 64y squared. If you have something like this, where it's a positive 24xy squared and negative 24xy squared, those two things are just going to cancel. So your answer is only going to be 9x squared y squared minus 64y squared. Next one, multiple letters being multiplied. Let's distribute. Negative 36a cubed b squared plus 9a squared b plus 24a squared b minus 6a. Combine like terms, and you get an answer of a negative 36a cubed b squared. This can combine with this to give me 33a squared b and minus 6a. And the last one, since it's the same thing squared, it's actually considered a perfect square. So really it's just 3xy minus 8y times 3xy minus 8y. You distribute 9x squared y squared minus 24xy squared minus 24xy squared plus 64y squared. Combine like terms, which are these two in the middle. 9x squared y squared minus 48xy squared plus 64y squared. If both binomials have the same terms and the same sign, your result is a trinomial with a middle term 2 times the first term times the last term. For example, if I had this, my answer would be a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared. And this little rule here can work for anything, so you can replace the a with anything, the b with anything, and just kind of solve.